There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping, but I live alone. My sister says that Mommy killed her. Mommy says I don't have a sister. You hear your mom calling you into the kitchen. As you are heading downstairs, you hear a whisper from the closet saying, "Don't go down there, honey." I heard it too. The last thing I saw was my alarm clock flashing 12:07 before she pushed her long, rotting nails through my chest. Her other hand muffled my screams. I sat bolt upright, relieved it was only a dream. But as I saw my alarm clock read 12:06, I heard my door to my closet creak open. I awoke to the sound of the baby monitor crackling with a voice comforting my firstborn child. As I adjusted to the new position, my arm brushed against my wife, who was still sleeping next to me. After struggling desperately to move any part of his paralytic body, just to alert the doctors that he was still conscious before they made the first incision, he was relieved to see that one of the nurses had noticed his pupils dilating from the bright light. She leaned in close and whispered in his ear, "You think we don't know you're awake?" I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first, I thought it was the window, until I heard it come again from the mirror. After a hard day at work, I came home to see my girlfriend cradling our child. I didn't know what was more frightening, seeing my dead girlfriend and stillborn child, or knowing that someone broke into my apartment just to place him there. She asked, why was I breathing so heavily? I wasn't. They celebrated the first successful cryogenic freezing. He had no way of letting them know he was still conscious. "I can't sleep," she whispered, crawling into bed with me. I woke up cold, clutching the dress she was buried in. You know that weird, full-body twitch you get sometimes when you're falling asleep? If there was a camera pointed at you, and you saw what it captured at that moment, you'd never sleep again. The grinning face stared at me from the darkness beyond my bedroom window. I live on the 14th floor. Sleep did not come to me easily that night in the cabin in the woods, for the portraits on the wall only portrayed the deformed, decrepit, and the damned. Sleep has never come easily to me ever again. For when I woke up, I found no portraits, only windows. I always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face, until one day, when I realized that she was always looking just right behind me. There's nothing like the laughter of a baby, unless it's 1 a.m. and you're home alone. After so many years living alone in this large house, I came to a startling revelation. I have closed far more doors than I had opened, and it's been watching me for hours now. Sometimes I catch glimpses of its reflection on the computer screen, but I dare not turn around. Put back the mirrors. We miss watching you.
"You stupid bastard,"
I cried out as he tied me to the rails.
"Don't you know this line has been abandoned for years?"
"Of course I know," he said, walking away. "No one comes here
After all. They delivered the mannequins in bubble wrap from the main room. I began to hear popping. The operation wasn't successful in the traditional sense, since my sight didn't return, but it left me with the ability to distinguish heat signatures at least. 3 weeks have passed, and I'm still not sure how to politely ask my best friend, why is he room temperature?
When I finally grabbed her arm in the darkness, I swam back to the surface. But it never occurred to me how fast the water could freeze over. You start to drift off into a comfortable sleep when you hear your name being whispered. But you live alone. You get home, tired after a long day's work and ready for a relaxing night alone. You reach for the light switch, but another hand is already there. Don't be scared of the monsters. Just look for them. Look to your left, to your right, under your bed, behind your dresser even, and in a closet. But never look up. She hates to be seen. I never go to sleep, but I keep waking up. My grandmother told me that it was a gift to see the angel of death in front of people's houses, to know that he would be collecting them soon. I thought it was a gift too, up until the day I began to see it in front of every house. I kiss my wife and daughter goodnight before I go to sleep. When I wake up, I'm in a padded room and the nurses tell me it was just a dream. The longer I wore it, the more it grew on me. She had such pretty skin. Nighttime swimming is one of the benefits of working at a public pool. One night, after everyone left, I was wading in a deep end when I felt a hand grab my ankle. I wish I could remember who these people are. They tell me I have Alzheimer's. She stood there alone, wondering why she was casting two shadows. After all, there was only a single light bulb. The last man on earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door. Ready to settle down for the evening, I put my headphones on. The whispering coming from them startled me. They weren't connected to my phone. Neatly laid across the dinner table, I found a dull kitchen knife, a torn, crusty rag, and a flip video camera, which seemed to be recording. I own none of these items. The dead are watching us now. That's the good news. As he woke up once again in the same doorless room, his body covered in accumulated blood and sweat from the previous nights, he noticed a gun in a corner. He grabbed it and pointed it at his own temple. Soon, he would be reunited with his wife and daughter with a merciful bang. But as he pulled the trigger, he was greeted only by a cold metallic click. The heart attack came and went, knocking Mike into unconsciousness, and he woke. He can hear the graveside service around him. Somehow the casket was translucent. He recognized some of his friends, but his body could not move. He realized with terror what death really was. You wake up, but she doesn't.